In the next couple of videos, we're going to explore two core design thinking skills: observation and interviewing. These are the building blocks of human-centered design. There are countless tools to conduct your empathy research. However, with a limited time frame, we're going to focus on the two most important skills. We're starting with observation because everything begins here. Before we can ask better questions or dream up solutions, we have to slow down and notice what's really happening. There's an old military adage: slow is steady, steady is fast. Now, it sounds counterintuitive, but the real key to design is to slow down. If we rush to get through the process, we're only setting ourselves up to miss opportunities to make a real impact on the people we're designing for. Observation is more than just looking. It's the skill of seeing with intention. You're watching what people do, how they move through space, how they interact with tools, systems, and each other. You're tuning into the small stuff, the repeated actions, the frustrated glances, the subtle detours. Take a minute to look at this image. What do you see? What can you tell about this person? What do they like? What do they value? How does their space reflect how they do their job? Ask yourself, why are there so many shelves? Why all the boxes? Go ahead and pause the video and really look at this space. Remember, slowing down is the key to gaining useful insights. One of the most valuable things to look for are hacks, or improvised solution that people create when the official system doesn't work. When people run into friction, they adapt. They create shortcuts. They leave themselves notes. They ask someone nearby instead of using the kiosk. These workarounds are rich with insight. They tell you that something isn't working as designed, and they show you what people actually need, even if they don't say it out loud. So let's look at a few examples. Here's an example of one of the design studios at Seton Hall. Right now, the space is empty, so we can't really see the exact hacks that people use, but we can start to imagine pretty quickly. Those of you familiar with these studios know what the issue is here. If you look down in the center aisle, you'll see the outlets in the middle. In a contemporary design studio, computers play a huge role in how designers develop and communicate their solutions. Every one of these desks will have a computer and any number of other pieces of equipment that require power. So if you were in this space, how would you get power to your desk? Usually, we see extension cords spread all over the place. So that's the first hack: getting the power to where we needed it. So now, that hack created another problem. Now we have a trip hazard. So to address that, students usually tape down their cables. Again, that's another hack. The design of the space, the furniture selection, or some other reason forces the students to be creative and make do. When we observe, we're on constant lookout for these kind of hacks. So in this view, we're in the CDE, or the Center for Design Excellence, which is part of the fabrication lab in Seton Hall. This is where we might assemble furniture or projects or other kind of fabrication projects. Again, there's a need for power, and the need for power shows an important hack. So in the studio spaces, the power was in the floor. Here, the power comes down from the ceiling. Imagine plugging in your laptop in this space. It's a little awkward, but it works. However, pay close attention to the height of those outlets and notice that they're made of metal. If you aren't paying attention, you might spin around and knock yourself on the head with one of them. Don't ask me how I know. You can see how people have wrapped the cable around the strut near the ceiling, and that works great to avoid hitting your head until someone needs power. Then, someone has to climb on a desk or a chair, bring it back down. Hacks aren't failures. They're clues. They're little acts of design, and they're often smarter and more human than the systems they're trying to patch. So how do you start? Well, be quiet. Be curious. Take notes. You're not looking for answers yet, just patterns. You're looking for repeated behavior, signs of confusion or hesitation, physical modifications like tape or signs or labels people might have added. You're also looking for emotional signals: frustration, delight, boredom. We're just looking at things. We're looking for how people act, how they move, where they move. So ask yourself, what's happening here? What's unexpected? What does this behavior suggest? Sometimes the most valuable insights come from the things people don't even realize they're doing. Observation is about presence. You're learning to see the world not as you assume it works, but as it really does, through the eyes of the people living it. In the next videos, we're going to build on this. We'll talk about interviewing, where you hear people's experiences in their own words. But for now, here's your challenge. Take a moment to observe. In the library, on campus, at a coffee shop. Just watch, listen, look for hacks, look for the small frustrations, and see what people do. You don't need to fix anything yet. You just need to notice.